sir, I missed your last statement. Can I have that repeated again, please?
Uh,
The
if we
voice went off.
if we have to train our say farmers
Ah.
or a population on a national scale, which kind of strategy can cover a maximum of them?
I
Means,
think the best way of communication would be verbal communication because that is easy to transmit to them.
but how do you talk to say like all the farmers in India?
Information can be transmitted through video, through recording messages. Just a, just
Okay,
a,
okay.
just
No,
a
no,
faint,
keep on thinking.
you
Keep on.
can.
Can we use can we use videos in their regional languages?
But
If
the
you are
farmer will say that how do we see the video because there is no electricity.
So we can have sort of talk series discussions with them, some sort of group discussions. Is it can a volunteer be appointed to do that?
But on a national level, then how many months or years it will take to happen?
That is also there. Then the best mode is radio.
But then another the same problem with the radio.
Again, the technology is not.
This situation is a real situation. I'm telling you a real case study.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dr. Fred Lockwood, when he was
Earlier, you used to have this gaon government, like, panchayat sort of announcement. You used to have, even during elections, you have this auto
Mm,
rickshaw going with a loudspeaker announcement.
yeah, yeah.
Can that be one way of communication?
Yeah, that can be one. But what they did, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So all kind of suggestions they came, like okay, we can have the television transmissions, explain the agricultural practices to farmer. The point came that where there is no power, there is no electricity, how the people will watch the radio program or television or this that, all shorts, including this suggestion that we can send some experts to different regions, and then the costing is very high. It takes a lot of time, like that. Those things they all can. And then the innovative, what they decided, that okay, there is one thing which goes on national level to the maximum extent possible, and that is the newspaper.
Ah, how did I miss that?
so so and yes,
Oh God, how did I miss that?
you should not miss that.
Very shame on me.
I think we missed it because we were so much into that technology thing.
Right.
We were thinking about the technicality and all.
Yeah.
That's how we missed it.
Email or WhatsApp or
Yeah.
something.
No,
Yeah.
I too went into the mode of bullock carts and loudspeakers.
Yeah.
In the traditional.
So what they did, because the government said that we don't have more time for that.
Right.
If you have 1 year 5 year plan, like in India we have 5 year plans, it's okay, that can be managed. But here they wanted it as the quickest possible. So what they did, they approached the newspaper editors, they gave them the text and the money, that here is your payment, just take it in advance and print a full newspaper size this material. Here is the content, just insert it into the newspapers and spread it.
So it was like a pamphlet, was it? Or a
uh,
tabloid?
a full tabloid kind of page,
Okay.
like in any newspaper.
Okay.
And the
So that
next
was a
day,
paid promotion, was it?
it was
Was it a paid promotion?
yes, it was the government of Brazil project. They wanted to train their farmers local on some agricultural practices.
Nice.
That was done. And newspaper goes at maximum places wherever, means even वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, जहाँ ना पहुँचे
Circulate. Yeah.
कवि वहाँ पहुँचे कवि,
Ji.
something like that. So but anyway, here means it was a good case study to learn that how, depending on local situations, we have to think of many things, how we can cover the maximum our audience in what way possible. So let us see the strength of radio and audio in education. The one point is accessibility, because it can reach a wider audience, including limited access to other kind of resources. So widespread dissemination of educational content, including in remote areas. Then, clearly you said it or Arti said it about cost effectiveness. This is the most cost effectiveness among all other mediums in terms of technology, because the production cost is low, its affordability in educational systems is very low. So cost effectiveness is a very good point here. And then the another thing is that this is the only radio is the only thing which allows us to do multitask. Would you agree or not?
So there is lot of disturbance. If we may request Mr. S.
Yeah, no, I think it is noted. So
Yeah.
I'm saying that radio is the only medium which allows you to do multitasking.
Okay.
You
So
have your like
earphone.
songs, and then you are cooking, you are washing, you are doing exercise, anything. While reading newspaper, you can't do it. While watching television serials, Saas Bahu Wala, you can't do anything. But audio allows you to do other things when
So
you
it's
are
a
listening.
flexi mode.
Yes, yes. It offers flexibility, to the other things because it is portable. It's a very convenient tool that way, and that's why you would see that. What was the name of that? The Sony company brought
Carvaan.
long.
That's Sony Carvaan. Carvaan.
Yeah, so people when they go for their jogging or morning walk, they have that fix it here, and then they keep listening to the songs and do all those things. So that way, so it's
And now you
portability.
have this podcast and everything. So that's
Yes,
also become very
yes.
good.
So in the background, things can keep on going, and that's why these FM radios and other things they have become so much popular because you listen to it and then keep doing your own work. Another advantage, this is a pedagogical advantage of it, that the audio medium it enhances the listening skills, and listening skill is a critical skill in education. So it encourages people to focus more on the auditory cues. Like if I switch off my camera now, and then you know so where the spoken instruction, various accents, speech patterns, and those things, the students they focus on those things, and then it engages imagination. When you don't see the thing, like as unlike television, on television you see and you hear, but here you only hear. So it stimulates the imagination and allows learners to create mental images based on spoken content. So it may enhance creativity, critical thinking skills, and like that, because we try to visualize the concept or the idea from there. But there are certain limitations of audio medium as well. So on the basis of these strengths, can you make out certain limitations or challenges of radio or audio medium? Think of it. And the answer lies in the strengths which we have just discussed. Any idea? So one of the limitation is that the lack of visual cue.
What I feel is like if you want radio,
Mhm.
am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yeah. The accessibility of having radio access is limited,
Mhm.
uh, especially if we see the rural areas. What
Mhm.
I feel,
Mhm.
as you say, power and technology is not that. If I'm on the right track, if I'm going,
Actually,
accessibility is one thing which is not there. But then now promotion, every house has a television and a radio facility. So
yes, yes. So we need to focus on other challenges then, like the limited interactivity as compared to other digital media or live other kind of interactions. Radio,
limited interactivity means what?
direct interaction between learner and the content. If it is a recorded audio message,
Okay.
then it becomes a challenge. And then another thing is that the lack of visual cues in the form of uh, diagram, chart, gestures, because they have to depend these visual elements. When they don't see it, it is something you must have heard that famous story of elephant. You know, those five blind people, they were asked, and then
Uh-huh.
somebody was touching elephant, that, oh, elephant is like this, elephant is like this, because
Right.
they can't see, they just visualize. So that becomes, and then in education, uh, the too much dependency on auditory skills. So in that case, the students, they may need additional support or alternative forms to accommodate the special needs for that. And another thing is that sometimes it has been found that the lack of visual cue, uh, so it means it affects the memory retention. That would have been possible with other visual material in that case. And then certain subjects like visual arts or mathematics are there, which require visual or hands-on demonstrations. Then audio medium is a little, uh, limited in its functionality.
Would we say there is a signal issues or something like that that affects the audio signals?
That may be a challenge, but here in terms of pedagogical things,
Mm-hmm.
like, do you think if we say that you have to teach history through radio and mathematics through radio, which
Okay.
one do you think will be better through radio, mathematics or history?
I think history should be better.
Yes, certainly.
Mathematics would require a lot of statistics and diagrams and charts.
That is the challenge. So it means that the audio medium, it has certain challenges, that in which conditions it may not work to that extent. So, but overall, it is the most accessible, cost effectiveness, and a medium which engages the learner's imagination. So that way. Then the if we see in terms of radio, audio, and I think you mentioned it about podcast or internet radio, there are various forms. How can we use them in distance education? In what way we can use this medium?
It's a learning module, sir, for
Yes.
everyone.
Okay. Agreed. Then,
It's more descriptive and narrative.
okay.
I guess uh, uh, it can be accessible, as you said, and engaging the audience at the same time.
Mhm.
So the learning method is easier.
Mhm.
So I would allow others also to speak.
Yeah, they are enjoying your inputs. So, okay, we can say that in several ways, either audio media, including radio, podcasting, or satellite radio, or internet radio. Do you know about internet radio, iRadio?
Yes, I do.
That that goes,
That is so interesting. I was using the England IR,
oh,
and it
wow.
was amazing. I was having the channel of Scotland
Uh-huh.
and Ireland and all those regions.
Wow.
So the music was very enhancing.
Yes, yes. When I was child, I used to listen to the German radio, radio.
Yes.
That was very popular. Their programs were very interesting.
In fact, the news is very good.
Yes, yes. So, if we are focused on in education or distance education, we can say that there are several ways in which this medium can be used. Number one, delivery of educational content in the form of pre-recorded audio lessons or lectures, and broadcast them either using podcast medium or radio medium. So that is one way. Then not only that, it can be used as a supplementary course material. Supplementary course material means, like, say for example, if it is your block, most of the things they have been written into it. But then there are certain things which emerge up, and you can't print the print material so regularly because it involves time, it involves costing, then distribution, and like that. But then we can create a audio message for that or a podcast and ask the student that this supplementary, it has been explained in this, listen to that. So there. And then interactive discussion and interviews. The institution can host, as I think, जब आप अभी जब मैं ब्राजील वाला पूछ रहा था तो आपने
Hmm.
बड़ा अच्छा वो एग्जांपल दिया था. We can host live interviews, recorded interviews, panel discussion, question answer sessions via satellite or internet radio platforms like that. And
Hmm.
then the students, they can participate in that by submitting their questions. अभी आपने देखा होगा वो जो सवेरे सवेरे टेलीविजन के ऊपर एक वो प्रोग्राम आता है, और मैं हमेशा ये सोचता हूँ कि ये जो ज्योतिष महाराज जो पूरे हिंदुस्तान का पूरे पूरे वर्ल्ड का भाग्य आज बता रहे हैं, इन्होंने अपना चेक किया नहीं किया, उसमें नीचे लिखा होता है कि आप इस नंबर पर आप अपना प्रश्न भेज सकते हैं समथिंग. But that it allows you, this medium, it offers you to engage in live chat or being invited as a guest speaker or something. Then another opportunity which this medium offers is that students can create their own podcast, radio shows, storytelling programs. So, and this is very useful for,
There are a lot of formats of storytelling that's happening
yeah,
nowadays, these days
yes,
on radio.
yeah. And there are AI tools also,
Yes, AI
which
tools.
are allowing you to create these storyboards, storytelling, and those things. And it is very easy. You know, script writing, recording, editing,
Right.
promoting creativity, communication skills. It becomes easier for that. Another good advantage of this medium, particularly radio medium, particularly. Long back, I had given some programs on Akashvani Rohtak, maybe
That's
around
interesting to know.
30 years ago something. Yeah, because when I was teaching in a college there,
I see.
they wanted someone for science news, because I was professor of teaching chemistry and physics in those things. So for science news they wanted, and I had given some programs on that. So, so
Very interesting.
they are very strict in how you speak pronouns and accent and those.
Absolutely.
And I know that when I was sitting once, some people they came that showing their interest कि सर हम रेडियो से जुड़ना चाहते हैं, तो उन्होंने कहा कि कुछ बोल के दिखाओ. तो जैसे उसने बोलना शुरू किया उसको बोला थैंक यू वेरी मच, आप जा सकते हो. Like that immediately. So the advantage of this medium is that for language learning and pronunciation practice. So teachers, they can share audio recording of native speakers, dialogues or pronunciation exercises, and then students, they can practice listening to
But
words.
is it a compulsion
Compulsory in what sense?
in sense like if your pronunciation, is it a compulsion?
Uh, it is for improving our communication skill, not a compulsion. Because you, by listening to it, if you have seen that there are certain famous people who initially they were not that much good orators or speakers, but by listening to others, they develop their own communication style or communication pattern that way. So it helps, and then you can. It is one of the easiest. I have seen that many people who जब शुरू में लोग नए नए लेक्चर लगते हैं या कहीं भाषण देना होता है, तो अपना मोबाइल के अंदर ही अपनी ऑडियो रिकॉर्डिंग किया, फिर उसको सुना, लगा कि हाँ ठीक है, नहीं तो दोबारा से करो. सो it helps. You can't do it with television or other things. It's the audio medium which helps you to improve that thing. And then audio medium, it helps in mobile learning and micro learning as well, because the audio media such as podcast or satellite radio or other things, you can create bite size means smaller modules of lessons, and then create them, and then they can be easily accessed by the students using their mobile phone. अभी तो आजकल आप देखो जैसे almost uh, every teacher, means classrooms, even students, they have their own WhatsApp group, and if there is a lengthy message which requires a lot of time in typing it, they just audio record it and
Right.
then send it, and then people they listen to that. So it helps in mobile learning or micro learning kind of thing there.
What is
And
the
then
difference between micro and mobile learning?
micro learning is a bite size, small, and like 1 or 2 minutes, something. Mobile learning is accessing the content or delivering the content using any kind of mobile device. So mobile learning is a kind of a strategy. Micro learning is the concept that this is like cooking, like cycling, like driving, those things. So it is micro learning. फिर इसका हम असेसमेंट और फीडबैक में भी यूज कर सकते हैं बिकॉज वी कैन आस्क अवर स्टूडेंट्स टू सबमिट द रिकॉर्डेड प्रेजेंटेशन ओरल एग्जामिनेशन ऑडियो असाइनमेंट हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी में यहाँ एक कुलीग हैं उनको मैंने मूडल के ऊपर लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम में जब ऑडियो का बेनिफिट बताया शी फेल्ट सो हैप्पी she gave audio assignments to her students and asked them that they have to submit their audio response to that, and it was very easy for everyone, even for students. वो इतना लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, you audio record it and upload your content that way. So it becomes quite interesting. अब एक चीज इसमें आती है, हमें थोड़ी देर पहले हमने एफएम का नाम लिया था. FM radio stations, they have become very popular. So the development of community radio system, I think, I don't know if you know, Dr. R. Sridhar, he was the director of EMPC, Electronic Media Production Center in IGNU, retired now. He has been the person who, I think he was associated with Doordarshan also, and he is the person who established community radio systems in India. He is very knowledgeable person about
He
it.
established what?
Community radio,
Acha, I see. Which year was this?
I think many years ago.
Okay.
The year
That's
I
quite
don't,
an information.
yeah, but Dr. R. Sridhar, I think SHREEDHER, R. Sridhar, Ramamurthy something. You can find him on Facebook or just make a Google search.
Right, right.
Dr. R. Sridhar IGNU, if you write, it will show his, he has been a pioneer in this field actually. So during his tenure in IGNU, a lot of improvements, lot of innovations, and they were brought in. So here we are discussing that the development of community radio or low-cost FM stations for distance education, that what is their impact. So the impact is that they play a crucial radio. This एक term और होती है ham radio, ham radio, सुना है कुछ ऐसे? जो एक छोटे से एरिया के अंदर ही some people they try to have their own, you know, and then they provide local news over that. आज हमारे कम्युनिटी में ये हुआ, आज हमारी सोसाइटी में ये हुआ, ऐसे करके. उसी तरीके से FM रेडियो स्टेशंस, they especially very powerful and very useful to rural or underserved areas.
They are used Morse code, sir. Morse code, Samuel Morse code. First time they use Morse code.
Morse code, yes,
Yeah.
yes. MORSE, Morse code.
Morse code.
To send the-
Cut.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Very good. Thank you so much for this input.
Okay.
Wonderful. So this is there, and in fact, this is very helpful for those communities which have limited access to school or library or internet. And that is there. And then it helps them in providing localized content. If you have to think something of at India level, mostly we will speak in English. But then there are local communities. वो particularly कहीं पर एक बंगाली society ही है. How do in that cases these FM stations or those local stations or community radio stations, they provide, because then they keep into context the cultural context or language of the community they are serving. That and then flexibility and portability, two-way communication, it can facilitate, because call-in shows, listener feedback, interview, like that, through by calling on phone, and then your voice will also be broadcast. So you ask the question, then the expert will answer that, and those things. Another interesting thing is that you can promote local talent. and bring in empowerment of the society using these. This is easier because you live in a community, so you have your own range, and you can invite others so that you have a regular supply of content to broadcast. So promoting local experts, local educators, community members to contribute to the creation of educational content. This is the benefit of it. Now, the major question comes that if we have to create certain educational audio program, how to do that? It's educational audio program production, how we go about it. And when we say educational audio program, it can be either in the form of a radio message, radio program, or podcast, और ऑनलाइन स्ट्रीमिंग और ऑडियो रिकॉर्डिंग आजकल तो वो ऑडियो टेप को यूज नहीं करता because we have better means of listening, and particularly nowadays everything is being accessed using our mobile phone from there. But then there are certain steps into it. The first step is content planning and research. यदि आप किसी मीडिया पर्सन से मिलेंगे और उनको यदि अपना कोई प्रोग्राम बनाना होता है, they will tell you that lot of time is spent in research part first.
Right.
Try to do adequate research about a concept, about an event, phenomenon or something कुछ करना हो तो that goes with that. और ये आप इसको इसी तरीके से आप देखो, मान लीजिए कोई एक अनहोनी हो जाए, किसी important personality, suppose if passes away, immediately on the television or on the radio हम उनकी
You have an
achievements,
obituary.
हम उनके अचीवमेंट्स के बारे में बताते हैं. वो कैसे होता है? Immediately, because they have those
We
things
have
on
an archives. We have an
archives,
archives.
and to take it out
The
from there.
data collection is taken out.
Yes, and it has to be stored in such a way that immediately you can retrieve it. Otherwise,
This
library में
sort of cataloging we used to do.
yes, that is very important.
Yeah.
In fact, cataloging and metadata. This is very important. Do you know what is metadata? Let me write it into it so that you know the spelling. We call it metadata. Any idea? Shivdasan ji, what is metadata?
No idea, sir. No idea. Metadata, what's
No idea, sir.
We call it metadata as the data about data. और मैं इसका आपको एक सिंपल सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि okay, like this, you see, if this is a bottle, here you see this barcode,
yeah.
and if you scan it on your screen, it will show its details.
Okay, sir.
In the older times when we used to have video tapes,
Oh,
on the spine of the video tape, you have that code with that,
Sir, there
QR
used
code
to be a
is
subsection demarcations that used to
And-
happen, and then
and-
we would pull out that file.
and
So
very-
every file had 3-4 subjects, subsubjects.
yes, and very easy. You're in IGNU enrollment number.
Yeah.
Do you know that the IGNU code, your IGNU enrollment number, it is a code. If you tell me then I can find out that it starts with the year in which you registered,
Right.
and like that. So that is called as metadata. Metadata means some sort of a information about that work or product or process or something. By having that, you can immediately retrieve that information related to that.
So can we define metadata as documentation or archive?
The documentation becomes a lengthy thing. Metadata is something like unique keywords.
Comprehensive. Okay.
Yes, in a short run. But you are right. A lot of research goes into it. That is the first step in producing educational radio programs, is to plan the content. You're planning. After this is done, then we go for script writing and storytelling. A structured script is very much important, and particularly, not only this, even for television programs, you have
Right.
your script. वो इधर अभी मैं आजकल नेटफ्लिक्स के ऊपर प्रोग्राम है वो आर्नोल्ड श्वार्ज़नेगर का,
Oh, are you seeing that, sir?
मैंने देख लिया जिस दिन आया था उसी दिन. He's my
You
favorite.
have good taste for.
He's my favorite one. So, मुझे उसमें एक बड़ी अच्छी चीज लगी उनकी, जो और वो बताते हैं दुनिया का वन ऑफ द बेस्ट डायलॉग या मोनोलॉग बोलो, आई विल बी बैक।
Hmm.
और वो बताते हैं कि जब जेम्स कैमरून ने उनको स्क्रिप्ट दी थी मूवी की और उनको बोला था कि आपको ये बोलना है, तो ओरिजिनल डायलॉग वाज आई विल कम बैक।
Okay.
ओरिजिनल डायलॉग वाज आई विल कम बैक।
हाँ.
तो लेकिन अब आर्नोल्ड ऑस्ट्रिया से हैं, उनकी एक्सेंट भी बड़ा फनी है। शुरू शुरू में लोगों ने उसके उनके एक्सेंट का मजाक उड़ाया था, उनकी वो एक्सप्रेशन वुडन फेस का भी मजाक उड़ाया था, और बाद में यही चीज़ उनकी करेक्टरिस्टिक बन गई जिसकी बन पे उनको मूवीज़ पर मूवीज़ मिली। तो वो ये कहते हैं कि स्क्रिप्ट में ये लिखा था, मैंने उनसे कहा कि क्या इसको हम ऐसे नहीं चेंज कर सकते, तो जेम्स कैमरून मान गए, ओके ठीक है। And then it became, and it has been repeated in many other films, I will be back, I will be back, like that. So script writing and storytelling ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट। रेडियो के अंदर तो बिना स्क्रिप्ट के चीज होती नहीं आजकल। पहले तो लोग कागज सामने रख के बोलते थे, मैंने खुद
Right,
देखा
right.
कि मैं रेडियो स्टेशन में प्रोग्राम किए हैं, गया हुआ हूँ। इवन टेलीविजन के ऊपर पुराने जमाने में जब दूरदर्शन होता था और वो रमन रमन था ना उनका नाम, जो ऐनक लगाते थे गोल वाली, और वो तो वो और सलमा
सलमा सुल्ताना.
सलमा सुल्तान, वो जब पढ़ते थे तो वो बड़े उनको बोला जाता था कि जब आप कागज को उठाएं, जिसको पढ़ लिया साइड में रखना है,
बट
आवाज
वो
नहीं
टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर देखते थे सर.
अब टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर आ जा गया है। पहले तो कागज से ही पढ़ना होता था उनको।
तो कागज को स्लाइड भी एक एक टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर पेज जाती थी, फिर स्लाइड करते थे एक एक पेज.
बड़ी बड़ी धीरे धीरे से, ताकि उसकी
धीरे धीरे.
माइक्रोफोन में आवाज ना आए
जी.
उसकी। और बड़ा फनी होता था क्योंकि वो होता था एक न्यूज ये पढ़ेंगे, एक न्यूज ये पढ़ेंगे, तो उनको लगता था कि मैंने न्यूज खत्म कर ली तो दूसरा स्टार्ट हो जाए। कई बार उनको दूसरे की तरफ से देखना पड़ता था कि आपकी बारी है।
But there was no communication from the control room. Like Abhi, you have the earplugs
Yes.
with the anchor. Those
Yeah.
days you never had.
They were unique things. So that is the second step. After that, third stage comes of audio production technique. So various technical aspects here like background music, sound effect. अभी एक बड़ा फनी चीज चल रही है टीवी के ऊपर आजकल करंटली, ये जो ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी वर्चुअल रियलिटी चल रहा है, इसके अंदर तो शायद आज तक या उनका तो वर्चुअल अनाउंसर वो
That weather report.
वेदर
Weather
रिपोर्ट,
report.
हाँ, उसमें वो मैं अभी देख रहा पिछले दिनों एक वो छतरी लिए हुए है, बैकग्राउंड में से वो तूफान चल रहा है और उसकी छतरी भी वो स्टूडियो के अंदर पंखा लगा के। so you know these are called as the production techniques to make things your presentation interesting. so background music, sound effect, इनफैक्ट ये तो सिनेमा हॉल्स के अंदर भी कोशिश की गई थी। जो 3D स्टीरियो साउंड होता है कि यदि कैरेक्टर एक कोने से बोलता है
Dolby.
तो आवाज, हाँ, डॉल्बी डॉल्बी
Yeah.
साउंड।
Sound vibration.
कुछ सिनेमा हॉल्स में इसको एक स्टेप फर्दर किया गया है, तो वहाँ कहते हैं कि यदि हमें एंड दैट फेल्ड मिजरेबली, तो ये कहते हैं कि यदि सीन ऐसा आ रहा है जिसके अंदर कोई एक पर्टिकुलर स्मेल वो है नहीं, तो दे रिलीज्ड दैट स्मेल इनटू द सिनेमा हॉल, दैट बैकफायर्ड बैडली, बिकॉज वो स्मेल तो एक बार आ गई है, वो निकले कैसे जल्दी से, इट इज अ क्लोज्ड स्पेस।
Does it happen, sir? Is it really?
आप इंटरनेट पर सर्च करना है, मैंने पढ़ा था
Where
सिनेमा
did this happen? If
सिनेमा हॉल्स में लोगों ने,
Indian cinema hall?
अब ये पता नहीं,
I
शायद
don't.
आई थिंक आइनॉक्स वालों ने ट्राई किया होगा कभी।
अच्छा. Okay.
to give a realistic experience कि वो जैसे 3D में लगता है उसी तरीके से वो करने को। बट आई रिमेम्बर आई रेड अबाउट इट। उसके बाद हम करते हैं वॉइस टैलेंट और डिलीवरी, बिकॉज इट इज़ वेरी मच द वॉइस हैज़ टू बी क्लियर, आर्टिकुलेट, प्लेजेंट टू लिसन टू। और इसीलिए अमीन सयानी जो कि हॉलमार्क माने जाते हैं, एक बार मैंने पढ़ा था उनको दैट ही यूज्ड टू चार्ज 25 रुपीज़ पर सेकंड फॉर हिज प्रोग्राम्स। बिना का गीत माला एंड वन वो चलते थे, आजकल तो करोड़ों से नीचे कुछ नहीं होता। बट द पीपल दोज लाइक यू नो द फेमस एग्जांपल ऑफ अमिताभ बच्चन who was rejected by All India Radio due to his voice, and now everybody wants his voice because of the special feature of that. And then we need to think of in our audio programs interactivity, element of engagement, accessibility, inclusivity, like avoiding jargons, providing appropriate explanation, translations, like that, so that we are able to serve a larger audience. That is very much important. And then we evaluate once it is there, because it is an iterative process. Regular evaluation, feedback, it goes on. Uh, I think every media house, they have a monitoring or evaluation unit which keeps on getting feedback from the audience, or in-house feedback which is generated. On the basis of that, the producer is informed that next time please follow these things, so that the program can be improved from there. And then the final thing comes with the promotion. आपका एक बार material आ गया, then you have to promote it. So promoting various like educational websites, streaming services, podcast directories, social media campaign, collaboration with other institutions, partnership with relevant organizations, like that. That goes in that. Then interestingly, this will be, I think, easy for all of you. What are various formats of audio programs? So can you just quickly tell certain types or formats of audio programs which you have heard, which you have created, which you have been interacting with, like?
Like
I have majorly enjoyed listening to storytelling sessions,
Good, right answer. Okay, another.
especially for children, like,
Mhm.
these
Yes,
storytelling sessions where you have voice modulations, and
yes.
that is really, really immersive.
True. Okay, Shivji, you were saying something. So we can see that the format in the form of like education lectures, interviews, panel discussions, as Piali said, storytelling, or even including narrative. I remember once there was a program on something which is for nature something. And Amitabh Bachchan said that these, I think, National Geographic people or something, they contacted him that kindly can you do a narration of this. And I think Nasruddin Shah, because his voice was very good. And they, what is the name of another contemporary of Nasruddin Shah? Om Puri. Have you ever gone to Kalapani,
Sorry,
Andaman,
sir.
Andaman Nicobar Islands? Have you ever gone there?
Andaman.
Cellular jail.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah,
you
yeah, 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 yeah.
have you attended that sound and sight show in the
No, I
evening?
haven't seen that, but then I have been there.
And
That is something I missed out.
next time when you go,
Absolutely.
that is the narration by Om Puri.
Okay, because there was this Kranti movie which was shot at Cellular Jail. Probably because of that, maybe Om
So
Puri must
in the evening they have this
light and sound.
sight and light and sound show,
Yeah.
and the voice is by Om Puri, and he presents.
The
If you listen,
same is there in Somnath temple. The
Acha,
voice, this evening program is held there, and
uh,
the voice is of Amitabh Bachchan ji.
Even in Ajmer,
All
I think. Sorry, in Jaipur, you have that fort. You have
okay,
Amitabh Ji's voice.
Amir Fort
Mer
okay.
fort.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So other formats are like news and current affairs, documentaries, chat shows, or advice shows, or question answer shows, game
There are
shows.
also some classic songs that has an history. Anu Kapoor used to have one of those
Mhm.
programs,
Oh, okay.
getting back, reviving to
Yeah,
1970s
Geet
songs and
Mala,
Geet Mala.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
then
very good. So this is, and let us complete this Walla unit, and quickly about the education, historical development of educational television. The early experiments, they were started as early as in 1920s. After that, the post-World War II expansion, 1940s to 1950s. At that time, particularly in United States, educational television, they call it as NET, national educational television came up. So offering education for science, history, literature, etc. And then 1960 to 1970 has been considered as the golden age of educational television during that time. So, but it promoted the audio medium as well. And then the next development in 80s and 90s, it was the cable and satellite television that was means promoted. So we had like Discovery Channel came in those days, or there is one TLC, the Learning Channel, that became very popular. And after that, the telecourses came, particularly Transtel. I think that was a German production on the countrywide classroom program of CEC, which is in New Delhi here on Aruna Asaf Marg, Consortium of Educational Communication. They used to have that program. It used to came during noon time. A very good program. And nowadays we have the era of digital era, online programs, OTT, over the top content or interactive technologies. They have taken over. So these are the development in this field in a brief way. So I think it will be easy for you now as we have understood the advantages and challenges of radio. Similarly, if we have to quickly discuss about the advantage and disadvantage of television broadcast or video cassette in education, what are the advantage of television broadcast?
Sir, immediately reach its yes.
Yes,
That's
yes,
main thing.
very good.
Immediate
Right.
transmission.
Yeah, and the another one,
Very clear and
that was an improvement over radio. Why
yeah,
the television became popular? Because you can see it.
yeah, yeah.
So the visual and
Visual
audio
and
engagement, a multi-sensory learning experience by combining audio with visual elements.
so it is interesting also, sir. Very interesting. Like this online class.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm
We are
typing a name.
interacting.
I have typed a name, Marshall McLuhan. आप इनका सर्च करना, इन्होंने एक बड़ी फेमस बात बोली थी एक बार। ये जब ये टेलीविजन आया तो इनकी एक फेमस स्टेटमेंट है जो कि पूरी नहीं हुई, मींस इट नेवर केम ट्रू, बट ही सेड दैट नाउ सिंस वी हैव द टेलीविजन and it is such a impactful medium, I think that now the schools they will be closed because the students they can see and learn everything by seeing it on the television. ऐसा स्कूल वगैरह तो बंद नहीं हुए, but definitely that was the power of this medium. उससे पहले रेडियो में तो आप खाली सुनते थे कि ये गेहूं की बाली है, इसके अंदर ये कीड़ा लग जाता है, वो फार्मर्स बेचारा अपने दिमाग में सोचता था कीड़ा कैसा है, उसके कितने पैर हैं, कितने पंख हैं। बट जब आप उसको टेलीविजन के ऊपर दिखा रहे हो कि देखो ये गेहूं की बाली है, इसमें ये वाला कीड़ा लगता है, तो दी क्लैरिटी इज मच मोर देयर, दैट इज द पावर. सो जो शिवदासन जी ने बोला, वाइड रीच and visual there, and then the production quality, it's engaging visuals, it's very high, means that makes captures the attention. It is more credible because you see it more credible. Abhi,
Everything you are in visual. Okay, sir. Everything
yes,
happening.
yeah, you see it as it happens,
Yes.
because वो तो अब आजकल तो जहाँ कहीं कुछ हो जाए वो कैमरे वाला फौरन से अपने कैमरे लेके पहुंच जाते हैं, and then they start doing it. So credibility of the medium.
Yeah.
I'm saying only, but in addition to saying, I'm showing it to you, the credibility is there. But there are certain challenges of television broadcast also. Number one is that primarily television broadcast, they are one-way communication. Primarily. There are certain programs in which you have those lines that you can call it, but otherwise they are one-way communication. So limited interactivity, and then limited control over content, which is means it doesn't cater to a specific learning need or preference. It has been created in such a way. And then the lack of flexibility, flexible schedule, it may not be possible sometimes. Just a minute, please. Okay, so that goes with that. No, that is the the similarly we have this called as the video cassettes. They came. So video cassettes. The advantage was that on-demand access. So at your convenient, you can pause it, you can rewind it, fast forward it, you can replay the section. So it allowed self-paced learning. And इग्नू के अंदर आप यदि अपने स्टडी सेंटर पर जाएंगे तो हो सकता है अभी भी वहाँ पर लाइब्रेरी में, ये अलग बात है, यूज नहीं होती क्योंकि आजकल किसी को जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. बट इन इग्नू, इन EMPC, वंडरफुल वीडियो कैसेट्स, वीडियो प्रोग्राम्स दे वर क्रिएटेड. वो VHS टेप के ऊपर वो सारे का सारा that is still available. That was the benefit. Repetition, review as on-demand access. That was the major power of it. But then the disadvantage is that outdated content. You can't, update it so easily because it involves lot of resources, lot of time, and costing is a big factor. फिजिकल लिमिटेशंस भी इसका है. अभी पता नहीं आप में से कितनों को याद होगा, वो जब आप पुराने ज़माने में VCR या VCP, वीडियो कैसेट प्लेयर या वीडियो कैसेट रिकॉर्डर,
Yeah.
वो उसकी वो जो मैग्नेटिक टेप है वो उलझ जाती है, फिर आप उसको पेंसिल से आप घुमाते
Say,
रहते हो.
roll it and
Audio cassettes maybe.
ऑडियो
In
कैसेट,
audio cassettes also.
वीडियो,
Pencils are download.
क्योंकि उसका अंदर वो जो लूप चलता है उसके अंदर कई बार वो अटक जाता है, एंड देन यू हैव टू टेक इट. सो
Sound भी अलग सा बनाता था.
there were these are the physical limitations of this medium.
but there is one I feel one very most important advantage of TV is that today's technology, there is increased transmission, there is a repetition of a program that can be repeated and
अरे
revised
पूछो
again.
मत, एक एक जो 15 सेकंड का एक
Replay.
मैसेज होता है ना, उसको इतनी बार रिपीट करते हैं, 30 मिनट का प्रोग्राम बना देंगे. अभी पिछले दिनों ये एलन मस्क की और मोदी जी की जो मीटिंग हुई, उसमें एक ये था, वो कहता है अनाउंसर, फॉर्चुनेटली मैं उस वक्त मेरे टीवी के आगे था, मैं कहीं पे वेट कर रहा था, आई कुड नॉट स्विच इट ऑफ. वो कहता है कि उनके 87,000 करोड़ का उनको 1 मिनट में मोदी जी से बात करके उसकी इतनी इनकम बढ़ गई. उसने उसको 30 मिनट तक बात को इतना रिपीट किया. मैं ये बार बार सोच रहा था इस बंदे को कुर्सी पर बिठाकर, कुर्सी से बांध कर इसको यही सुनाना चाहिए, तब पता चलेगा औरों पर क्या बीतती है. Literally, all these programs.
So it has advantage as well as disadvantage, but it's very irritating also.
मुझे तो डिसएडवांटेज ज्यादा लगता है, वो पका देते हैं आपको पूरा.
Absolutely.
बट वी नीड टू लर्न फ्रॉम देयर कि आप वो तिल का ताड़ कैसे बना सकते हो. छोटी सी चीज होती है, उसको लेके फुल प्रोग्राम कैसे बनाया जा सकता है. But
All
anyway,
these private news channels are doing so, sir. इतना sound, इतना high करके बोलते हैं, चिल्ला के कोई भी news ना, लगता है क्या हो गया.
every news is breaking news.
Breaking news, yeah.
Funny part is so much of dramatic background effects are being given. It's really shocking. Modi's visit to US
That's
seems to
why-
be like Jodi Salamat Rahe,
Yes,
captions like
That's
that.
why. No, that's why Anjana Om Kashyap is getting 4 crore per annum, na? That is the reason.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. अभी आज मॉर्निंग में मैंने देखा वो आज तक के ऊपर वो जो
जी.
कार्टून वाला बनाते हैं ना, ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे, वो शोले का गाना लेके मोदी और बाइडेन,
वही very filmy they have become like.
पूरा पूरा वो. Anyway, these are the
It's a form of entertainment again.
And they are always after a single topic. अगर कोई topic मिला इतना उसके पीछे, all news channels used to get after that.
So after that, this we come to the webcasting. Webcasting tools like in open and distance education system. First of all, what is webcasting? Webcasting is the streaming of audio or video content over the internet. That is called as webcasting. When we involve internet using that. और इसकी जो formats हैं,
Live
like
streaming.
yes,
Live streaming sort of.
live
Yeah.
streaming. And through
Watching cricket match and all.
हाँ, हाँ. Or live streaming, we can deliver live lectures, virtual classroom, like अभी हमारा जो चल रहा है, this is called as virtual classrooms, guest speakers और expert, webinars. आप लोग जो, हाँ आरती तो शायद टीचिंग में है, जब ये कोरोना चल रहा था तो उन दिनों में बहुत वेबिनार हुए थे, so
Yeah.
those, and you will laugh at it. मुझे साउथ से किसी एक इंस्टीट्यूशन का मैसेज रिक्वेस्ट आई कि सर हम एक वेबिनार कर रहे हैं, आप एक सेशन ले लोगे? मैंने कहा ठीक है, उस दिन मैं खाली था तो मैंने हाँ भर ली। एग्जाम्पल के तौर पर मेरी टर्न आनी थी 10 तारीख को। उनका मैसेज आया मुझे ऑर्गेनाइजर्स का कि सर उन दिनों में ना फीडबैक और सर्टिफिकेट लेने की बड़ी होड़ लगती थी कि जैसे ही मेरा ये प्रोग्राम अटेंड किया मुझे सर्टिफिकेट मिलना चाहिए। तो कैंडिडेट ने उनको फोन करके कहा प्रोग्राम अभी शुरू भी नहीं हुआ है। वो कहता है सर मैंने प्रोग्राम अटेंड कर लिया, मेरा सर्टिफिकेट दे दो। मीन्स इतने ज्यादा उन दिनों में लोगों ने किए हैं कि वो आप वो द रॉक, क्या है उनका नाम, जो हॉलीवुड के एक्टर और रेसलर हैं, द रॉक के नाम से फेमस है, उनका एक
Stella, Sylvester,
उनका
Sylvester Stallone.
डोवेन जॉनसन समथिंग का नेम है, जो ये फास्ट एंड फ्यूरियस सीरीज में भी आते हैं। हिज नेम इज द रॉक। तो उनकी एक फोटो है, वो एक बड़ा हैवी सा बैग उठाए हुए हैं और बैग के ऊपर लिखा हुआ है सर्टिफिकेट्स फ्रॉम वेबिनार्स। नहीं, कुछ लोगों ने इतने इतने 200 प्रोग्राम अटेंड करके वो उन्होंने वो किए, तो दैट गोज विद दैट. So you can have webinars there. Another thing which is related to your course is on about learning management systems. They are another important tool which provide the online environment for the content delivery. Moodle use होता है इग्नू में, आप लोगों ने गूगल क्लासरूम सुन रखा होगा, उसी तरीके से सकाई है, जुमला है, ब्लैक बोर्ड है. They are the learning management systems which allow the teachers to create content, allow students to access that content and like that. So we can have discussion forum, you have the assignments. स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म का आपने नाम सुना होगा, so that is a sort of a that thing. उसी तरीके से वेब कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग टूल्स और वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग टूल्स लाइक गूगल मीट अभी हमने जो यूज किया है, जूम आपने सुना होगा, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टीम्स है, सिस्को वेबएक्स है. दीज आर द tools using which we can have virtual meetings, remote presentations, guest speakers का लेक्चर करवाया जा सकता है, virtual office hours वगैरह वगैरह करके ये सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. उसी तरीके से फिर है इंटरेक्टिव मल्टीमीडिया कंटेंट लाइक इंटरेक्टिव ई बुक्स और interactive video animations, virtual lab, simulations, virtual reality, etc. These things, they are used in distance education settings. That is taken care from there. अब यदि हम ये कहें कि इसको डिस्कस करें, और मे बी इन योर एग्जामिनेशन दिस क्वेश्चन में कम बिकॉज इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट, that how do we compare satellite communication and terrestrial communication. These are the two distinct modes of transmitting information. Each has its own strength and limitation. Satellite communication and terrestrial communication. So how do you compare both of them?
Terrestrial communication takes time, and that communication is very speedy.
Yes. Okay.
Speedy one, and it is very clear and nice. So many years ago in telecommunication, we are taking calls, STD.
Yes.
Yeah, that takes time. 3 days, I think, from India to Bahrain. It takes three days.
You
Now,
have to book in advance.
yeah, that's in after era of our Rajiv ji, Prime Minister. Then it becomes his friend Sambitroda ji.
Sampitroda, yes.
Sambitroda ji make chips, microchips instead of big exchanges in telecommunication
Yes.
mode. So it is very nice.
Yeah, I
Now
agree.
it is very nice. That is using satellite now. Okay, sir. Am I right?
Yes, please. That is correct. And thank you for this input.
Okay, sir.
That is so informative, sir.
Okay, Arti, please. You were saying something, Arti or Piali, who was speaking. So one is we can compare it. Shivdasanji, you are absolutely correct. That's a good input. So we can see it in terms of coverage and reach. The satellite communication, it offers global coverage because satellite orbiting the Earth, they can transmit signals and receive signals from almost any location. Terrestrial relies on network of physical infrastructures. और अभी आपने देखा होगा पिछले दिनों तो ये जो आई थिंक जूही चावला, she filed a petition in Supreme Court against 5G towers, which was rejected by the court. So those things. So you need to have और जो residential complexes हैं उनके अंदर तो इनका इतना means I don't know whether that was a correct explanation or not, but they said that it emits harmful radiations which affects us and this that. So a
Yeah, you
big
can't have this tower Vodafone boosters because it will have heart radiations. It will affect
so
the human body.
So one difference is about coverage and reach, both differ in that. The another is about signal latency, जो अभी शिवदासन जी कह रहे थे. सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेशन के अंदर जो सिग्नल होता है ओवर लॉन्ग डिस्टेंसेस, सो इसका लेटेंसी और डिले वहाँ पर टेली कम्युनिकेशन जो टेरेस्ट्रियल कम्युनिकेशन होता है, इट हैज़ लोअर लेटेंसी क्योंकि ट्रांसमिशन डिस्टेंस छोटा है उसका. So it makes it suitable for application which require real time or near real time communication such as voice calls or video calls. सैटेलाइट वाले में देर लगती है उसके अंदर एंड पर्टिकुलरली हम जिस पॉइंट पर है वहां से सैटेलाइट हमारी रेंज में है या नहीं है, दोनों सेम प्लेन में है तो ठीक है. हम यहाँ हैं और सैटेलाइट इधर है, हमारी रेंज से बाहर है तो वो सिग्नल नहीं कर पाएगा. अनदर डिफरेंस बोथ ऑफ देम इज अबाउट बैंडविड्थ. Satellites, they can provide high bandwidth capability, so large volume of data can be transmitted. Terrestrial communication के अंदर unless it is fiber optic, उससे पहले जो copper वाला चलता था वो चलता था, slow communication, you can support only the voice. Nowadays you have your high speed reliable connectivity for data intensive applications, and this brings us to the the reliability factor as well. In satellite communication, they are more susceptible to disruption caused by environmental factors. अभी कई बार आपने देखा होगा यदि आपके घर में टाटा स्काई लगा हुआ है और बारिश हो जाए तो सिग्नल बंद हो जाता था. इनफैक्ट वो स्क्रीन पे ही देने लग गए थे दैट सॉरी वी विल कम बैक सून, क्योंकि बारिश हो रही है तो वो सिग्नल कट रहा है उनका, लाइक दैट. So whether rain, cloud or other physical object, they can interfere with satellite signal. In terrestrial communication, जो they are more resilient to environmental condition, लेकिन उनको physical damage पहुंच सकता है. Physical damage is a issue with them because you have cables. वो सड़क के ऊपर कहीं पर खुदाई कटाई चल रही होती है तो वो फिर that affects it. Just a minute, please. Adi, good morning, Adi. I am in a class. Can I call you after 1 hour? Yes. Okay. Sorry, one of my friends from Afghanistan, they are working on a project with UNICEF and UNESCO. So because that's why I picked up this call. And then cost factor. Satellite communication involves huge infrastructure like deployment of satellite ground stations, receiving equipment. So expensive satellite communication. Terrestrial communication is less costly to deploy, to maintain, and like that. There. And then another factor is of flexibility. Satellite communication, it offers mobility and flexibility because it is not limited to a physical location. So, you have nowadays these OB vans of TV channels. So you can take it anywhere. and can have live broadcast using satellite. Terrestrial communication is for fixed location and areas with dense population. So, and therefore it provides a stable or consistent connectivity like home, office, urban environment, something like it goes from there. So these are the strength of satellite communication, that we can have global coverage, we have wide area coverage, like we can cover broadcasting, disaster response, global connectivity for maritime or aviation industries. There it is. This is the preferred mode to use in these industries, satellite communication. Then scalability. We can easily scale their capacity to accommodate increasing demand of data transmission. You just have to open another bandwidth for that, and then it can be. Then it is good for mobility. It can be used in ship, it can be used in aircraft, other mobile platform, and then we can have high speed data transfer possible through satellite communications. अभी आप वो देखो जो जेम्स वेब टेलीस्कोप, वो कितने करोड़ों कितने दूर हमसे जा चुका है, बट स्टिल वी आर रिसीविंग द इमेजेस. वो आप यहाँ पर आप नॉर्मल कमेंट से देखें तो 1 किलोमीटर दूर तक भी इमेज का जाना कई बार इट इज़ नॉट इजी. सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन दिस थिंग्स इट बिकम्स वेरी. And then rapid deployment. You send your satellite in the upscale space, and then it works faster with it. So deployment is quicker in terms of satellite communication for emergency response, disaster recovery scenario or something, because you can track it from the space there. And then international connectivity by bridging the communication gap across borders. So communication link and international collaboration, etc., they work very good with that. Let us see some of the examples of these experiments. Can you tell some of the names, experiments, either in India or outside, about satellite education? There are some very famous examples from India.
Kalpana Chawla thing was one of the example.
Okay.
That was a transmission that was done live via
Yes.
session, and then audience were able to see.
Yes. So two famous examples in terms of use of satellite in education from India are, one is the EduSat, educational satellite. It was launched in
EduSat.
EduSat, EDUSAT. It is the short form of educational satellite. It was launched by ISRO in 2004, and this was dedicated for education. और इग्नू ने, मुझे याद है उन दिनों में मैं करनाल में था, जहाँ से अभी आप ये चंडीगढ़ मीन्स it is RC Chandigarh, but I think the colleagues, they work from the premises in Karnal regional center from there. So I was regional director of IGNU at Karnal at that time, when we also received the equipment for EduSat. एक टीचर एंड होता था, एक स्टूडेंट एंड होता था. टीचर एंड मीन्स फ्रॉम द स्टूडियो the experts will teach, it will go up to satellite, beam down, and we receive it in our office, in the computer lab or the library, where we have the receiving and terminal. टेलीविजन होता था बेसिकली, उसको उसके साथ जोड़ दिया जाए. एडुसेट आप एक याद रखिए. और दूसरा बड़ा फेमस हुआ है, वो एडुसेट से बहुत पहले का है, उसको बोला जाता है साइट, SITE, सैटेलाइट इंस्ट्रक्शनल टेलीविजन एक्सपेरिमेंट. ये इसरो और ऑल इंडिया रेडियो का जॉइंट प्रोजेक्ट था, और 1975-76 1975-76 it was hugely popular. Site experiment, SITE, make a Google search on that, you will find it. Rural areas, distance learners, it was very very useful for them. उसी तरीके से एक we call it as DLF, वो प्रॉपर्टी वाले नहीं, it is Digital Learning Foundation. Digital Learning Foundation, DLF India. It focuses on using satellite technology for busy class program like that, digital classes, something that's also there. In addition to that, there is a project which is called as African Virtual University, AVU. This is intergovernmental organization to use satellite technology or e-learning to provide education and training across African nations. So AVU, African Virtual. उसी तरीके से UK Open University. In fact, they were the first one. They used BBC lessons, BBC educational broadcasting. They're the first one to make use of the educational broadcast for educational purposes. And the Open University, UK Open University, United Kingdom Open University, it was established in 1960. और जो इग्नू 1982 में आंध्र प्रदेश ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी बनी थी और फिर 85 के अंदर इग्नू वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड. So these are some of the examples which demonstrate the power of satellite technology in expanding educational access, delivering content, promotion of distance learning, ऐसे करके. उसी तरीके से अभी हम जो कर रहे हैं, this is an example of a teleconference. So what are various uses of teleconference in education? There one, it allows us for synchronous communication, like we are doing. So when I ask question, you reply to that. This is synchronous communication. We are live in real time. We are meeting. It allows us for virtual classroom to conduct means live sessions with instructors or others, and then lectures, live presentations, guest speakers, collaboration, remote presentations, like that. So recordings, archives, those things, they are possible using that with that. Just a minute, please. Hello? नहीं, मेरी एक बजे क्लास खत्म हो गई. कोई जरूरी? ओके, मैं कॉल करता हूँ. So now let us think that if we have to work on a technological setup for teleconference, how to set up and what are the key elements required for a teleconference setup. So how do you do it? If
First
you
of all, a camera,
okay,
then transmission,
yes,
a receiver,
yes,
video,
uh-huh,
the screen.
Some platform. Medium should be there.
yes, right, very correct. So let us list them. One, you need an internet connection, like high-speed broadband or something. There, both the host and the participants, they should have access to a adequate internet connection, speed, bandwidth, like that. Then the second thing, we will need a teleconferencing platform, something like Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Cisco WebEx, or Skype, or something. Because these platforms, they allow you the audio and video conferencing, screen sharing. Like I don't use PPT, but I can share my screen using this icon, which on your screen you can see, or recording option like Mohanji, he allows the recording to be done, which you can later on, मान लीजिए, if due to some reason you were not able to attend the class, then you can view that recording, listen to that. Then, as you just now said, that we need audio equipment and video equipment. Video equipment in the form of camera or lighting, those things. Audio equipment in the form of speakers, microphones, those things, they are needed. Then we need display devices, like laptop, tablet with a large screen enough to accommodate, or nowadays we need, say, if we go by that way, then teleprompter is needed, teleconferencing app, or then there is one essential component, backup power.
Backup power.
My younger brother, he is in UK, and once he came here, तो अभी मैंने अपने लैपटॉप को ना यूपीएस से जोड़ रखा है, because if power fails, then I get my electricity regularly. So he asked me, what is this? I told him UPS. Will you believe? He was not aware what is a UPS, uninterrupted power supply. इससे क्या होता है? No, when the electricity fails, then it provides me electricity. Oh, Manika, why? Because in UK, electricity never fails, so we don't use
No
UK.
electric failure in UK.
So you know that we don't know what is UPS. We don't use it because electricity never fails there. So, but in India, we need to have a power backup, either UPS or backup batteries, or in case of power outage or interruption, something like that. It is very, very essential. Or nowadays in Delhi, it is so hot, ACs run, so peak power supply, and something can go. And then another thing is the test and preparation. A test run is essential to ensure that all the equipment, connections, softwares, they are working properly. So if you are asked to set up a teleconference something, you will need video equipment, audio equipment, backup powers, internet connection, some sort of platform, some sort of software tools. These are the things. Please remember them. Now, what are various kind of teleconferences? Broadly speaking, we can divide the teleconference systems into three things: audio, video, and web-based. Audio means like only audio conference using using your mobile phone. When you make a call to someone on your mobile phone, you can have a conference call. You can add another person also to your call. So like that. Long back, we used to have a telephonic in terms of landline. For that, we used to have a special equipment which will connect different telephone lines to that. That was the audio teleconference. Another is video teleconferencing, which is very popular nowadays. So in real time, you have these video conferencing systems for webinar, online classes, virtual meetings, and those things. And then we have the web-based teleconferencing, which combines audio and video using the internet, the power of there. So large-scale webinar, remote training sessions, online presentations. What we are doing now is a kind of a web-based teleconference. It is there. So this is then. Now let us come to the the last 9 and 10 units, which are on e-learning and mobile learning. In short, how do you describe e-learning? Means, according to you, what is e-learning?
E-learning is a kind of electronic equipped learning, electronic way on the way of electronic, using electronic.
Yes. Learning through some sort of electronic means or a device is e-learning in its simple definition. That is there. So we use digital technology and internet to deliver educational content, and we facilitate the learning experience. This process is called as e-learning, and it involves the use of electronic devices, for example, computers, tablets, smartphones, so that we can access the educational content. We can have interactive activities, engage with online resources, like that. E-learning has become a major format of teaching nowadays because of the challenges of face-to-face medium. अभी देखो हम भी e-learning से ही पढ़ रहे हैं एक तरीके से, like that. So there are certain advantages. One of the biggest advantages is that e-learning allows accessibility anytime, anywhere, wherever you are. For this session to connect, to join us, you don't need to be in your home. You just need internet connection. You can be traveling in a car right now. If you have with your mobile data package, you can join us. You can be in your office. You can be in Goa, anywhere, anytime. Just need the e-learning resource, means the internet connectivity. Then this is very good for self-paced learning, because it is available on internet, which is not going to in face to face. 10 बजे से 11 बजे तक आपकी क्लास है, 10 बजे टीचर आएंगे, 11 बजे पढ़ाकर he will or she will go back. You don't have to access your teacher 24/7. But these online resources, they are accessible to you. So you have the facility to learn with your own pace, own speed, in your own time. Then they allow the offering of multimedia content. We can integrate text, image, audio, video, animation in our educational content. So it makes it more engaging, memorable, accessible to learners. And then another factor is personalization, adaptability. एक शायद हमने अपने पिछले किसी क्लास में बात आई थी जब आरती जी थी शायद उस दिन। एक वेबसाइट है उसको हम बोलते हैं डुओलिंगो, मैंने ये इसमें टाइप किया है डुओलिंगो। दिस इज अ वेरी गुड ऐप फॉर लर्निंग अनदर लैंग्वेज। You can install it from
Yes,
Google
sir.
Play Store or App
My
Store.
son is learning French and German from there.
आपने अब मुझे याद आया आपने पिछली बार यही बताया था कि वो इनको यूज करते हैं। This is an example, good example of adaptability, because this app asks you that how much do you know already, and on the basis of that it offers you the content. If you say you know nothing about that, then it will start from another level. If you say that you know something, then it will begin from there. So this is adaptation learning system here, because here it is based on the need, prior knowledge and learning goals. So this is there, that is good. And then collaboration and social learning. E-learning say it is very easy. Means suppose now we are connected. शिवदासन जी इज इन केरला, आप दोनों दिल्ली में हैं, मैं दिल्ली में हूँ. We can immediately can connect with each other. It's a big challenge if it is in a physical thing. We won't be able to so social learning, virtual group projects, peer feedback, online communities, they can be established easily in here. And similarly assessment and feedback, लार्ज स्केल के ऊपर इट इज बिकम डिफिकल्ट. अभी जैसे आपके MADE कोर्स में तो थोड़े स्टूडेंट हैं, सो टीचर्स विल बी मार्किंग देयर असाइनमेंट्स जब आप टर्म एंड एग्जामिनेशन में अपना एग्जाम लिखेंगे तब. बट कंसिडर BA कोर्सेज जहाँ पर लाखों में स्टूडेंट्स हैं और उनकी सैक फुल ऑफ आंसर शीट्स, दे गो टू द टीचर and then the examiners, they have to read all the answers, mark them. It's a time consuming, it's a very laborious, hard working process. But with online systems it is easy. The software does the automatic grading like Google quiz. So you make the quiz automatically. If you click the right answer, you get the mark. If you click the wrong answer, marks are deducted, and like that immediately. As soon as you submit your work, the result is declared. So that becomes a very. And then scalability. This system allows us for mass education. Large number of students, they can be reached without any, means eliminating the physical constraints of a physical classroom space that is there. So there are various different forms of e-learning, like online courses. It is a short of a online course. Coursera, स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर, उडासिटी आपने सुना होगा, कोड एकेडमी, खान एकेडमी, all these offer online courses over the internet. Then virtual classroom, अभी हम जो कर रहे हैं, this is a virtual classroom. So where with the help of an online tool, internet platform, teacher and the students, they connect with each other. Then webinars, where lecture is being delivered. Mobile learning, massive open online courses, MOOCs, which are offered through different MOOC platforms. Learning management systems, gamified learning, blended learning, which is a combination of traditional face-to-face instruction with online learning components. That is blended learning approach. So these are different forms of e-learning which are used to deliver educational content and engage the students. So individuals, as an individual, you can choose any form based on your learning goal or your available resources or your infrastructure which is available, or organizations or institutions, they go with appropriate format for that. How they are used? So we use multimedia content, video-based learning, audio-based learning, interactive simulations, e-book, digital books, learning management system, collaboration tools, learning analytics, mobile applications, virtual reality. These are some of the media and technologies which enhance the effectiveness and interactivity of e-learning. So if somebody asks you this question, that what media and technology you can integrate in e-learning delivery to enhance the effectiveness and interactivity, then what are those media or technologies? So you can then answer that we can integrate multimedia, that is text, audio, video, simulation, and like that, images. Video based learning through video lectures, either it is a live lecture or a recorded lecture. That like अभी हमारा ये lecture recorded, अभी live चल रहा है, but it is being recorded, so next time it can be used as a recorded session. Then audio based lessons, interactive simulations, e-books, flip book, डिजिटल बुक्स, जैसे वो क्या होता है किंडल और जो अलग प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, so they offer you e-book. Then there are e-book readers. Similarly, using learning management system or a collaboration tool, or using integrating learning analytics in your or mobile applications or virtual reality, those things, they enhance the effectiveness of an e-learning course. अब ई लर्निंग कोर्स मान लीजिए आपने ई लर्निंग ऑनलाइन लर्निंग को यूज़ करते हुए कोई एजुकेशन के अंदर कोई प्रोग्राम बनाना है, कोई कोर्स बनाना है, हाउ डू वी डू दैट? There are certain key steps involved in implementing e-learning. So first of all, we do the need assessment.
Sir, if I may interrupt, sir.
बोलो.
Sorry, sir, I have to go for a checkup to the hospital. So,
Okay.
if I may be allowed to exit from the
Yes, take care and
classroom.
get well soon if there is some
Thank you,
serious.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyway,
Thank you, everyone, sir.
yes, bye,
Yes.
take care and see you next time.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Today, how many participants, sir, today?
Actually, I don't have the list of all the students, but on different times, like there were 2 other students who could not join today.
Okay, sir.
One, I think one is from Assam, like that. So, but our colleagues at regional center, they have the list because they informed them.
Sir,
Anyway, we are near the end of our class today. So we were discussing that what are various steps involved in e-learning. First of all, we do we want to know our target audience. So need assessment is done. Then we define our objectives. Then we select e-learning technology, which LMS will be used, which e-learning platform will be used, like that. After that, fourth step is to develop the content. We prepare our text-based multimedia presentation, video, quiz, or question paper, like that. Then training and support. It is provided to teachers, to administrators, like that, on how they will be interacting using that e-learning platform. The sixth step is pilot testing. Means a try out of that content which has been created. Once on the basis of this pilot testing, we can, if we want to change, we change our strategy, our content methodology, and then the deployment and rollout. So that actual system is which has been tested and refined, we deploy it for broader use. After that, once it starts running, we monitor and evaluate there for that continuous improvement and scalability. So this is how we do it. Now, what are various educational or training settings in which e-learning is used? Vast, every field, everywhere. K-12 education sector, we use it. In school education, higher education, corporate training, we use it. Healthcare education, we use it. Like CME, अभी PLE जी चले गए, अदरवाइज वो डॉक्टर से मिलने जा रहे हैं. CME is continuous medical education, CME. So in healthcare education, that is done. Like Medscape is there. Then Quantia MD, Knowledge Plus. They are for medical healthcare professionals, that platform. Then it is used in vocational or skills training, language learning like Duolingo, professional development for teacher education like TED Talks, आपने सुने होंगे, if you have heard those TEDx and TED Talks, like that, for professional development or continuous education. Those things they are. And last in this block is M-learning, mobile learning, learning using a mobile device such as smartphone, tablet, or even wearable device. You know, nowadays we have those wearable devices they allow us, like Apple का जो watch है, it allows you to access the content or deliver your content from there. So it has the advantage of portability, multimedia capability, connectivity, so that it can offer you flexibility and personalized learning experiences in there. The another advantage is that micro learning or bite-sized content it can offer you. Don't need. On computer you can access a large 50-page document. You can on your laptop you can easily. But if it is for your mobile phone, then it is always a good idea to have it a smaller chunk of your information. There are various types of formats for mobile learning we use. Like number one is apps, like this Duolingo app with the help of app, or mobile website, or multimedia content, or mobile learning management systems, or augmented reality applications, or cloud computing, like Google Classroom is a cloud computing thing, or wearable device like fitness tracker. So it during a language learning walking tour, you can use it, or like smartwatch, vocabulary reminders, something these learning apps they use it. And then mobile messaging or collaboration tools are there. For example, Slack, Slack. I hope you have heard about this platform, Slack, or simply WhatsApp that is being used. Microsoft Teams also is being used from there. So these technologies, they contribute to the versatility, flexibility at any time is there. There are certain challenges of mobile learning. The biggest challenge is that the screen size. It is such a screen size. So if you have to read something, there is a lot of scrolling you need to do that. And then another thing is the device compatibility. Sometimes some apps they don't work on a particular hardware that way. Then connectivity and bandwidth. If you are in such an area where the mobile signal is low, then you will have a challenge with that. Then learner engagement or motivation. So visually appealing gamification, social learning features, etc. We need to take care of them for our things. And then accessibility or inclusivity factors like web content accessibility. For those who are hearing challenged, visually challenged, some sort of physical challenge, then that is a serious issue. Then data security and privacy is a big challenge. Well, I think in yesterday news there was a news item that two brothers, I don't know, I think from Bihar or which state, police has caught two very young brothers. Means they are very young, two brothers who stole the COVID data and put it on the internet. That was a security breach. And similarly, in our mobile device, you have to install so many applications. You never know that which application is using your data in what way and sending it where. This is a big serious issue. But there are various advantages of mobile learning. The first one is the accessibility. You have your mobile phone with you. Anytime you can access any content. If you have internet enabled data, you can access internet. You can access, like you can join your this session anywhere. Personalization, bite size, flexibility, convenience, multimedia, collaboration, real world applications. Those things they are very good medium for this. And similarly, as in case of e-learning, mobile learning also has its applications across various sectors like K-12, higher education, professional development, vocational education, skill education, informal learning, and all those settings. The mobile learning is very helpful to. So with this, we have covered the block 2. Almost all the units we have covered. And if you have any questions, we can discuss. Otherwise, we will meet tomorrow.
Thank you, sir, for nice introduction and very nice presentation.
Most welcome. And I hope that
Thank you, sir.
you both are able
Thank you
to
very
join
much, sir.
tomorrow. Yes. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye, Aarti. Bye, Shivdasanji.
Yeah,
Bye,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Have a
Bye.
nice day.
Thank
Bye,
you.
sir.
Same to you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.